got a wide release this past weekend. It is written, directed, shot, and produced by Sean Ellis. He made a little film in 2016 called Anthropoid that I really enjoyed. In the late 19th century, brutal land baron Seamus Lawrence slaughters a Roma clan, unleashing a curse on his family and village. In the days that follow, the townspeople are plagued by nightmares. Seamus' son Edward goes missing, and a boy is found murdered. The locals suspect a wild animal, but visiting pathologist John McBride warns of a more sinister presence lurking in the woods. Now, when this premiered at Sundance Film Festival last year, it was released under a different title called 8 for Silver. And I wonder if it was Sean Ellis's wish to get this a wide release. And if that was the case, which I would assume it would be, then the title had to have changed. Because you know why? The studio can make this more marketable and more accessible to general audiences. Because if you just kept the movie called 8 for Silver, people would be like, who the fuck wants to go see that movie? They definitely made it more accessible. If it kept its original title, this is the type of movie that would be playing at my downtown AMC, but mostly indie theaters around Boston. It wouldn't be playing at the AMC that I saw it at today, and I think that that's due to the name change, to make it more accessible, to market it as a mainstream horror film, when it's not necessarily a mainstream horror film, nor is it an art house horror film. It's somewhere right in the middle, and it's going to divide audiences. Audiences are going to go into this thing looking for blood and guts and gore and cool werewolf kills. It's a werewolf movie. But it's not that. I wasn't really sure what to expect going in. I thought it was going to be more similar to Robert Eggers' The Witch, a real slow burn. And it is slow in parts. It is a very dialogue-heavy movie, but there's enough going on that kept me invested throughout the entire runtime, and I think that that's probably the biggest praise I have for this movie. There was never a dull moment. The mystery of what this curse was and what this creature actually was, if it was actually a werewolf, really left me intrigued. So I give the movie credit for that, but it is definitely unconventional. Breaks a lot of rules of the werewolf genre. I don't want to say it necessarily breaks new ground into the horror genre, or it's the most original thing in the horror genre, because it's not. It is a horror film that does take some risks. It's going to make a lot of casual moviegoers upset, I think. It's going to be a movie that they're not fully expecting. They're going to be mad at the fact that you don't even see the creature until the last 10 minutes or so of the movie, which I thought was beautifully done, because anytime you obscure your entity or your creature in a movie, especially a horror movie, it makes it that much more suspenseful and that much more scary. And that was the feeling that I got. And I feel like the design of the actual werewolf, when you do see it at the end, is just going to get real horror junkies fed up, I guess. I don't know. But this was a movie that I really enjoyed. Aside from obscuring the actual creature until the end of the movie, I thought that this movie had some of the most lush cinematography I've ever seen in a horror movie. There's a sequence at the beginning of the movie that is a wide, that is looking down over a hilltop, and you just see a brutal one-shot, still shot, massacre of this small encampment, and it made it that much more real. It wasn't cutting back every 5 seconds to somebody running away, another cut to somebody screaming. It made it feel more realistic, more lived in, like I was actually there on that hilltop, like watching an actual massacre happening. So it's a beautifully shot movie that had a lot going for its story. I was really there for the suspenseful build up to the creature, and I actually really did like the characters, even though there's not a lot to them. Kind of just have to roll with it sometimes. I was just looking for a unique, fun werewolf movie. And while it may not be fun, there's definitely a sense of dread throughout this entire thing. I do think it was a unique spin on a werewolf movie. And I hadn't even seen a single trailer. I just saw that this movie was coming out, and I saw that it had been retitled, and I just saw that the reviews for it were actually pretty decent. So I said, okay, I'll go check it out, and I actually really enjoyed it. I think my main issues with this movie are that while the cinematography is great, and there's a scene that takes place underwater where the camera's shaking a lot, you can't really tell what's going on. I feel like there's geographic issues there. Not what I would have done. I think I would have used a different location other than underwater for that sequence. And sometimes the movie does meander a little bit. There are moments where it's spewing information that doesn't quite add up, especially the opening scene. I know everybody's probably going to be like, what the hell was that about? And they try and connect it back at the end. Works, but it doesn't. Those are really my only issues with The Cursed. I found this to be a unique werewolf movie that it's not going to be for everybody, unfortunately, but I really do wish that general audiences would appreciate movies like this more, because we spend money for these types of movies. That means more movies like this are going to get made. And look, I'm not somebody who's going to criticize the superhero genre like many directors have. Just don't ask a famous director what they think of the superhero movies. But I mean, I have to admit, they are overtaking a lot of what is coming out. It's popular demand. And I get it. That's a result of the ever-shifting film industry. I'm not criticizing superhero movies, because I love superhero movies as well. But when you just have superhero movie after superhero movie after superhero movie, or major action blockbuster movie after superhero movie, movies like this just kind of get lost in the shuffle. Seems like they're just desecrating in the ether. And I think movies like this, whether you're going to like it or hate it, do deserve to be seen. So if you haven't, check out The Cursed. I really liked it. Curious to know what general audiences are going to think of it. I really enjoyed The Cursed with a full bucket of popcorn. I just wish mainstream audiences wouldn't take in everything that's so mainstream. And it doesn't make any sense to me when we watch so many obscure and different TV shows, but when it comes to movies, it's like we have to have the same thing. And movies like this are just like, nah, I'll watch it 3 years from now. That's not me criticizing the superhero genre or the blockbuster genre, because I love my fair share of blockbusters, love my fair share of superhero movies. It's probably not going to change for a little bit. We've shifted to that, you know. We haven't shifted back to originality quite yet, like this movie. I do hope people see this movie, whether you love it or hate it. Just support filmmakers like Sean Ellis, just so that they can get their name out there, so that they can have more movies like this made. If you guys have seen The Curse, what did you guys think of it? Drop me some feedback in the comment section below. I will leave my link to my website in the description below as well. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching. My name is Alex Madden, and I'll see you at the movies. Subway.